go nowhere. Let's create. Camarones con garbanzos. In Spain, they call them garbanzos con gambas, but in United States or in English as a whole, it's called chickpeas with shrimp. And let me introduce you to the ingredients, and please pay attention because this is critical. There are some adjustments. You're going to need some chickpeas. You have two options. You can go with the can, which is a much easier approach, as long as you take the water out and wash them. Or you can go with the dry version. If you use the dry version, put them in water overnight. Then you can put in a pressure cooker for about 15 minutes, as long as you use water or some sort of stock, like vegetable stock or seafood stock. Or you can use a regular pot and cook it for about an hour to soften them. You can use the water from there as your stock for the soup that I'm going to show you. But if you go can, or if they're already soft enough, go their way and going now. Clearly, you're going to need some shrimp, peel and clean. You're going to need some salt, smoked paprika, or in Spanish, pimentón ahumado. This is a good one, by the way. Extra virgin olive oil. You're going to need some water or some sort of stock. If you have seafood stock, that's perfect. If not, go vegetable or water, as I stated. I'm going to have some cognac, optional, but I want to add the flavor. I have some bay leaf, tomato, grinded, because I don't like to use canned tomato sauce. And here comes the tricky part, because it's not tricky. I have here what we call in Puerto Rico sofrito. But if you don't have this, link in the description how to prepare. If you don't have this, you can use fresh cilantro, a little bit of bell green pepper, the sweet one. You can use some onions, garlic, oregano, little bit of everything, other stuff. And that would take the place of this. But I'm going with this because I already preserve it. That way I don't have to go through other stuff. But even when I have this, I'm going to add more garlic, because this has to have the garlic strength, and a little bit more of an onion. This is about a quarter of an onion chopped. And what I have here is preserved sweet red pepper. You can use the red bell pepper, chop it, but this one is hard to find. I call it ají dulce. It's from Puerto Rico. So I preserve it so I can use it later. But you can go with red bell pepper. Don't have to be preserved. You can chop it and use it. Salt, and optional, very optional, saffron. Medium high heat. Going to put a little bit of extra virgin olive oil. Just a little bit. Let it heat up for a tiny bit. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to add the onions, not the garlic, which I already chopped here, by the way, just the onions. Going to caramelize it a little bit. Also going to add one of my frozen, sweet peppers. Once again, you can use, let me turn the heat to medium. You can use some chopped red bell pepper too, about a tablespoon. But this one is already minced. It's a different type of hard to find pepper, but it doesn't matter. I'm going to add my sofrito. I already explained earlier what sofrito is. I created this about over a year ago, almost 2 years, and it's still fine. Link in my description. But you can also use the natural fresh stuff. Although this is natural, you can use the fresh spices that you need if you're willing to be shopping and stuff, and if you have all them accessible. This stuff smells delicious throughout the entire kitchen. The garlic. What I'm doing with the garlic, mixing things up together a little bit. Look at this, baby. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to add some of the cognac. I said about a quarter of a cup. Cognac has alcohol, so you have two choices. Let it cook for a while so the alcohol dissolves. I would say about 3-5 minutes. Or, let me lower it here. You can flambe. Ooh, look at that, baby. So it goes away. Eventually it's going to dissipate. See how it's starting to reduce? And I'm keeping it away from the thing. But watching over here the top, see how it went away? Let me increase the heat back to medium. I had it low. Let me get the camera closer. Look at this, baby. Huh? Look at the sound of the music. Listen to the sound of the music. Oh, the stuff smells so delicious. Add the tomato. My naturally prepared tomato sauce. In essence, I grinded a tomato. Using one of the things here, I just grinded it. Oh, what I call it, grated. I grated. Mix things up. Now it comes the smoked paprika, about 1/8 of a teaspoon. You can use also regular paprika. I like the smoky one. I'm going to add a tiny bit of salt, just a tiny bit. Reduce the heat, couple notches above low. Let me add a little bit of the tiny bit, no, I like to say a little bit of the saffron. I like to break it like this with my fingers and add it. Just a little bit. Couple bay leaf. And leave it alone for now, okay? If it's too dry, you can add a tiny bit of the broth now. I don't need it, but this is what you do, just a tiny bit. Move it back to medium. You know, heat it up a little bit, like, not to medium, but maybe a couple notches below. So I increase the heat. For a couple notches above low to a couple notches below medium. It went from medium low to a couple notches above below medium. So I'm going to put some salt. generous amount to the shrimp. That's the only thing I'm going to use. No pepper, no other crazy stuff. Mix it up. Medium high heat. Going to add a little bit of extra virgin olive oil. Not like just a little bit, you know, a little bit. I'm going to add the shrimp. Look at the size of these babies. Make sure they are cooked, okay? You're not frying them, you're just cooking them. About 4 or 5 minutes later, they're ready. Turn this off. Go to the next step. So what you're going to do now, you're going to add about 1 cup of your stock or broth. I'm going vegetable. You can use water. Let me put the heat to medium. Now you're going to add the garbanzos or the chickpeas. And you're going to add your shrimp. You can add some of the grease too. Transfer those flavors. If you want to add a little bit more broth because you want a little bit more soupy, feel free to do that now. But one thing you need to know for sure is you have to give this baby a taste. It's pretty damn good. But I'm going to add a little bit more. So that's me, right? You can increase the heat to a couple notches above medium, by the way. And because of the type of garbanzos I'm using, they're already soft. If you were already have the garbanzos in the pressure cooker or already soften it in a pot for about an hour, 45 minutes, that's the broth and the garbanzos that you use. You bring them together, okay? But because I had the garbanzos soft already, I didn't need to do that extra process and time. So I'm showing you a simple version. If you're using can, that will work too. That's the version. Like if you're using can, of this is already soft enough. So what you do now is you're going to cover this baby. And I said, let it cook for somewhere between, let's say, because you want the flavors to mix. So somewhere between 7 to 10 minutes. If you have to reduce the heat because it start boiling, do so. If that's the case, just go from couple notches above medium and move it to couple notches below medium, okay? This is what I meant, see? It's boiling. Let me put a couple notches below medium. Let's make a medium low. Ooh, look at this baby. Oh yeah. Ready to serve.